Hello, you beautiful people and students. Today, we're going to review another code from another students. Let us start. Hello, Ash and Maysam. How are you guys?
Hello,
Hello.
how are you?
Hello,
Very
UncleCode.
good,
Hi,
very good.
Mesa.
It's
So,
not.
Ash, who's student?
All right, so today we have a very interesting quote coming from Matyas, but he
Ooh,
joined in 2018.
2018. 2018.
Yes.
Great. That's great. Great. Looks good. He has Adidas shirt, and I'm very fan of Adidas dresses. I always have Adidas dress. So okay, we're gonna start and review Matyas code, which is here in my screen, and I'm gonna run it and see what's gonna happen here. Let's rock and roll. Okay, so
Wow.
here a kind of um, that's interesting. Let's go through the code first. Nice, nice. Let's just go see what is happening. First, Matthias, you create an array or a list of numbers, which I do have it here, angles, and all these numbers, 100, 200, 300, 224, 23, 134, 231, 98, 68, 86, blah, blah, blah. So then we have all of them here. And what we're going to do, we're going to go to the angles by loop. So that's nice. Yes, you can do that. You can just go to a list of elements with Python. And that's a really nice thing about a Python. It's very intuitive. It's just you can feel it easy, compared with some other languages. And in the first line, what you've done is you left to to the right, to the left. You return to the left, equal by the angle, which is first is 100 degree, and then in 200. And what you've done, 300 forward and then backward 300. So that means you back again to the first position, the center. And then you set heading. Set heading means you set the heading, the head of the turtle again to the zero. That means you put it back again in the way that when we launch the program. So you reset the position. And then again, another degree. So 100, 200, 300. So it's not like 200 more, 300 more. It's just back to the first position and again 200, and again 300. So one of the things that I can do here is I can just use the set headings directly, because set heading does the same things that you want to do that. For example, I just put the X, so I'm going to run it. So you see, it's get a little bit different because the direction is different, left and right, but it does the job for you. And then and what else you've done here is just forward and 300. Okay, one thing that I like to do here is I want to bring a little bit of randomization to your code, not necessarily just some fixed numbers. I want to make it a little bit more. So what we're going to do when we need randomization, so we're going to import random library in Python. And for example, what is in my mind to do is, the random has this function rand int that you can give it numbers, from 0 to 360. So just going to pick a one of them randomly. And then I want to keep doing this and again and again and again and again, and then it will be a lot of lines, right? It will be, a lot. So there are different ways we can do that. One way is, rather than going to a list of array, maybe a list of numbers, maybe we can do something like that. Here, I just come and use the range. And I say I want to do it 100 times. And let's forget about the x. And then here, we're going to write x equal to this. That's something we can do here. So now, 100 times, this will be repeated and repeated and repeated. So it's really cool. So 100 times, you're producing a random number. And every time you run the code, so you're going to get a different results. That's just one way of doing this. And maybe if that was something that you want to consider, you can also play nicely with even the length. We can create something like, let's say I want to be minimum 100 and then 300 the max, and then I'm going to go for L and backward L. Something that you can consider here to do that.
Oh,
So now looks a little bit more like you're sitting down in the kind of spaceship and moving to the far, far beyond with the speed of light.
Galaxies.
Yes, just look, give that sense, kind of sense of feeling.
Far away galaxies.
So here, then another thing that you can do, maybe you can play around with color also. You try to play around with colors and do a little bit of randomization in the colors, then it looks really nice. What you can do, and I think if we make this a little bit longer, 400, so and it give you more feeling of
wow.
traveling into into the galaxy with really fast and something like and then so there are tons of things that you can do that here. So what we did here was going using the random module, and then we did like 100 times, and then also use the random value for the degree and the set headings. You don't need to go to the left anymore, and the random for the length, and the forward and the backward. That's a very nice things. I like the code that you route, especially first using the angle as a least and then go through the least. I like that one. It's very good. And what I added here, random taste of the randomization. So try to come up with a little bit more stuff, maybe colors and also the thickness. Maybe you can play around with them a little bit to make them, sounds fun. That would be, I guess, very nice. And then let's see, and also bring the color. And then is what else you can do? Maybe you can also add some dots before you draw these things. It looks like a kind of really galaxy. There are some kind of stars around in here. I think my width is width. What's wrong?
Yeah,
with my
it's
width?
correct.
So what it says error?
Well, it's not Tom, it's Matyas.
Matyas. Okay, that's all. We're gonna have something very important for you, Matyas. We should tell you today sooner. You are programmers.